How have you guys been able to just go quarterback to quarterback and really not miss a beat?
Uh, you know, I don't know. I think the first thing, I think there's a lot of credit to the players, the kids on the offense, and in particular the quarterbacks. I think have, Coach Campbell has always preached about, not to sound cliche, but having the next man up. And I think the one thing that you got to give a lot of credit to that group of kids and also Coach Hoffer is just that he's found a way to always prepare them. And I think, Coach Campbell's done a good job of always setting practice up that those guys are getting meaningful reps. And I don't know that. Hopefully that would continue, It's one of those things that, you kind of cross your fingers and hope for the best and try to find things that each guy does well and try to build on that. And, obviously we were happy with what Zeb was able to do when he came into the game.
Is going into this season, did you realize you had this type of depth at that position? Did you realize, like, okay, if it gets to this point, we're going to be just fine?
No. I don't. I think when you go through in any position, when you decide to make that decision, you decide, let's put, this guy here, and then this guy's behind him, and this guy's behind him. The one thing I think we did know about that position in particular is we felt that race was always really tight in general. And I know, even when we made the decision that Kyle was going to start, that was still a very difficult decision, I think, coming down to it. And obviously Kyle took the opportunity and really ran with it. So we've always believed that Zeb is a very talented guy. We felt at that time in the season that it was better for us, to go with Kyle. And, I think Zeb understood that, and Zeb probably agreed with it. Obviously the one thing I really appreciate about Zeb is that he's very competitive. Zeb gets pissed off when he throws a bad pass pretty much every time, and that's awesome. He's a guy that's he's always had high expectations for himself. Obviously, being a mid-year enrollee, I think, is something that you have to be a confident kid, especially a quarterback, just to do that. And Zeb is very competitive and very confident.
Every guy can kind of do different things. What does Zeb allow you to do that maybe you haven't been able to do before?
Yeah, I don't know how much different it is. I think in general that they're similar. I don't know how if it's drastically different in anything. I think everybody just does something a little bit different, and maybe there's some balls that some guys like to throw a little bit more. But I don't know if there's any significant difference in what that, and I think that's why that race was so close in general anyway, and from the season, really from off season all the way through till now.
How have you seen Allen's game progress from when you first got here?
I think the first thing is I've always thought Allen was really good, and I was always really amazed by the things that he was able to do. But I think just in the last 2 years, obviously I didn't know him before. I think we've seen him mature so much, and that's not to say that he was immature. That's just I think he's matured so much in just the way that he approaches everything, practice to rehab. Obviously I think the amount of character that it has for him to come back and play his senior year, you just don't really see that a whole lot anymore. But honestly, I see him have a lot of fun. Even out there today, he was asking about when he was going to play quarterback and when he was going to run the ball, and he's a fun guy to be around right now. And I've seen him. He's always been a really good teammate, but I've seen him grow as a leader organically, which is cool. No one's asking him to do anything but be himself. And if you come to practice, before every practice, he's going to go down where the O-linemen are, and he's going to get them all going. He does it every single day, and no one's asked him to. It hasn't been inconsistent. It's every day because that's what he does. And I don't know, there's a lot of examples of his maturation, but you've really seen him play really well in some really meaningful games, which is really a credit to his preparation, and really I'm quite happy for him.
What's the latest on Kyle? Did he practice today?
Kyle practiced today.
Yeah, what's the chance that he plays on Saturday?
I don't know. I think we have to continue to go on. I think he looks looked fine today. There's him and Zeb split reps. He's still a little bit sore, so he split reps with Zeb today, and I think we'll probably know a little bit more tomorrow, and then even probably give you even a more accurate answer. But he practiced fine today.
If Zeb is